belief system that you don't serve school districts by solving their problems. You serve school districts by building their capacity to solve their own problems. This often requires shifting from a compliance orientation with short-term strategies for really reallocating resources to try to improve student performance, to developing collective capacity that really deepens student learning because of your collaborative culture and an inquiry process for improving practices. To achieve this long-term vision of success, there's a fundamental role for district leaders, principals, and teachers, and that is to collectively create a coherent system of continuous improvement. This requires that we move away from comparisons to a few high-performing school districts to each school district engaging in their own journey so that they can have sustainable improvement of student performance and learning results.
The districts that are here, about 20 of them, they're trying to implement some changes to increase student achievement. We have found that they don't know what to do that. They say, we like the opportunity, but where do we start? So what we are doing is we've provided them with a framework that they can use in order to do this work. And it has to do with 4 things: focusing on the goals, collaboration, working together in relation to the goals, figuring out the best way of teaching and learning, and then the 4th one is what we call securing accountability, which is how do you know you're making an impact.
The right type of work is evolving, and what we're finding is that when groups of people come together to solve a problem that is a high priority problem that leverages itself back down to teaching and learning, it's the right work.
In order for us to close the gap in achievement, or to ensure that all of our students are successful, from special ed, English learners, so on, we have to work in a coherent way. And that means from preschool all the way up to high school, for every level has clarity on exactly what the challenges are, and that we tackle those challenges together as a team.
We're in a system of education where we think that one size fits all, and really we're not. And every school, we have 9 schools in the Rosedale district, and they need to understand that there's 9 different needs of what students have, but we all come back to the common focus of either student outcome or engagement or conditions of learning. And what is that focus that they're going to do at their school that's going to be embedded school-wide to really reach down to those students? And those teachers now have that say and that power.
I think at the very end of the day, we're going to take a look at student achievement. And I think so if we really talk about success, everything that we do, why we exist, is for our students and making sure that our students are achieving it at high levels so that whatever it is that they decide to pursue when they leave Hesperia Unified School District, that they're going to be successful, that they will still continue to be lifelong learners and be successful in any endeavor. That's how we're going to be able to measure that success.
So the journey started this year as our district has made a connection with InnovateEd and has brought them in to help us out with this. District has been working on what their goals and visions are, and then all the school sites are working with a specific team, an SL team, a site leadership team. So we've selected some people from our school that can help define what it is that we need to do at our site and then unroll it to the rest of the school and how that is going to look at every level.
In language arts, we created this assessment, but it's not just an assessment. It's really a place for teachers to come together and have conversations as we gather language arts teachers from around the district. The hope is that we would use that as a replicable model, that moves across other disciplines. History comes into that, and we're working with history, social science teachers as well, as they really say, what are the core ideas of what students really need to know in this world today.
District-wide, I can kind of see how the entire school site works together as a team, where I didn't see that before. And I can see that if you need help, you can go to anybody that's on the leadership team and say, hey, I'm not clear on this or I'm not clear on that, and they're more than willing to be like, oh, I think I took it this way, and then we can kind of feed and share different ideas. And then as far as the classroom, making those extra connections and trying to have your students think of what's next and think of being future ready, you just kind of automatically develop that rapport with your students better.
My understanding of what we're trying to do and the purpose and even the pacing and the scope has to resonate with the practitioners, and that's really at the end of the day the teachers and the principals at the school site. And to have the same understanding and kind of the vision and purpose is one that we can't take it for granted. And so this whole coherence model brings that opportunity for us to talk about that piece of alignment. And a lot of it has to do with capacity building.
Our leadership team was more empowered than it ever has been. We took a new sense of direction, and we had a wonderful facilitator who helped guide us and see a vision that we hadn't had before.
I'm excited. We already kind of have our plan in place. You know, we always talk about vertical articulation, but it's extremely hard to do, and you have to stay focused. And my teams are ready to lead that. And I think that's the best thing for me, is having a staff that's ready to lead because they know what the good work is.
I think communication is always one of the most important things to focus on, and I don't think you can communicate enough. One of our areas that we're going to continue to focus on is to be able to message out the work that we're doing, the work that we're going to continue to do as a system. I think it's important to message that through the successes and celebrate those with the schools that are doing the work, and allow them to continue to have those conversations.
We're really focused on bringing people together with that same clarity of what kind of work will we be doing, what areas will we focus on, what results do we want to see when we're speaking about equity. So that's where we see our next step.
It is essential that schools and districts develop a culture of shared leadership and systemic collaboration. This is achieved when district staff, principals, school leadership teams, and teacher teams collectively create formal structures and processes for systemic collaboration and co-learning that guide 6 to 9 week learning cycles. As a result, the focus of school improvement efforts provides defined autonomy for principals, teachers, and district staff to pursue more innovative practices and develop capacity aimed at improving student learning. Teachers, principals, and district staff can then collectively support school improvement efforts by shaping culture, modeling co-learning, and using change knowledge to improve structures, processes, practices based on the needs of every school and the needs of the students that are in their care.